Hey guys, TheRick here, bringing you another video. Today, it's one-on-one with TheRick. Now I'm pretty excited to do this one-on-one. This guy reminds me of me, except that he's younger, better looking, and well, funnier than I am. Anyways, big shout out to CICHLIDMAN09 for taking the time to do this video with me.
What's happening, Rick? Forrest here, CICHLIDMAN09, in the fish room, ready to answer some questions. Got my big boy Hulk back here.
Now CICHLIDMAN09, you just reached 2,000 subscribers. Big congrats on that. Any future projects in the works for your channel?
2,000 subs, absolutely huge for my channel. Still hard to believe that my channel's even got to that point where people continue to hit that subscribe button. With how I started out with this, it wasn't, striving for subscribers or, getting subscribers wasn't anything important to me back in the day, but, as things progressed and as I tried to improve my content, of course gaining subscribers and getting views are just a part of the scenario that come with trying to make the best content for YouTube. As far as future projects for my channel, there are some stuff that I've got in my brain that I want to do, some goofy stuff. If you didn't see my DIY rocks video, that kind of stuff, just goofy, stupid, ridiculous, not even a real video, but that is something that is more in my element, just doing goofy stuff. I'm a very big comedy fan. I like doing stuff like that. But in terms of what I would do, I really have no idea. I get too many ideas at once, and then I really don't end up knowing the direction I want to go with them. So consistentizing my direction for my channel is one thing I need to do. But the vlog type stuff that I do when I grab the camera and I'm just farting around in the fish room hanging out with everybody, that's something definitely that's going to continue to go. I really feel like I found something good with that, that really allows me to touch base with my subscribers and just, hang out with the camera. But, future projects, there's some comedy stuff I'd like to do. Of course, there's a bunch of DIY how-to videos out there that, everybody does, but, can be done a million times and people will still watch it, especially if you do it in your own unique way. But, yeah, just some everything. I want to do videos about everything, and the fact that I want to do videos about everything really messes with my brain and doesn't really give me a true direction to go. That's why most of my videos are just random, doing whatever I grab the camera and decide to do that day. But there's a bunch of things that I'd like to do. I've actually got 4 pages of video ideas written down in a notebook. I do that a lot, where I just, I think of a sweet video idea, whether that be a DIY project, informational video, whatever, and I actually go and just write it down, just so that when I have the time and the wherewithal to sit down and make that video, absolutely I can. And once I get to the point where I can feel more comfortable with my editing process and, doing this, kind of stuff, filming, then more of those things will come out. But I have a lot of good ideas that I have saved because I want to do them correctly. I don't want to take a really good idea and produce it poorly and not make a video that would be worth watching. So, like I said, I've got a bunch of ideas written down that I'm going to do eventually. But, as far as future stuff, right now, I'm just going to keep doing what I do and have fun with that.
You are going strong with no signs of stopping. What keeps you going? What gets you up in the morning to do these videos?
Thanks. My channel really, I'm not going to say is blowing up, because it's not true, because on the whole scape of YouTube, including in this fish community, the channel's about this big, if that. But, things continue to keep going very well for my channel. 2,000 subs is a big thing, and we're just keep on going past that. What gets me up in the morning to do my videos, honestly, is how much I love it. Because I really do love taking the videos. I love getting to talk fish, because that's one thing that us hobbyists don't really get to do very often. I'm sure you know this, Rick, that, there's not very many people you can stop on the street and start talking about fish, It's not. And so what I can do is I can take a camera, stick it in my hand, and talk to nobody, and then those who choose to watch it can decide if they want to watch it or not. So that's one thing that I absolutely love about YouTube. Of course, the strive for more subscribers and more views is absolutely a part of it. I'm not going to lie and say I do videos so that nobody will watch them. Of of course, I get up in the morning to do videos so that, of course, people will watch them. And the more people that watch them, the more I want more people to watch them. And I'm sure you know this, Rick, but it's kind of a little bit of an addiction. But I feel like it's a healthy addiction. It's fun. I have a great time with it. I really feel like my channel has started to turn into something where I'm getting pretty close with my subs, my community. You know, and they have fun watching my videos, me being my goofy self and just farting around with fish like this guy. What you doing? Yeah, I mean, as long as things can keep going like they are, I'm just going to keep loving what I do and, you know, having fun doing it.
Now I want to know a little bit about you. How long have you been in this hobby, and is this something you see yourself doing for the rest of your life?
Alright, now we're getting to the good questions. In this hobby, I'm relatively new. Now, growing up as a kid, I always had little pets and stuff. I'd catch snakes and keep at home and, you know, goldfish here and there. And, you know, but in terms of, like, what I consider my start in the hobby is about 4 years. Right after my senior year in high school, my best friend started getting into fish keeping a lot. And I will give TheRick credit, my buddy TheRick, my best friend in the world, for actually getting me into this hobby. And honestly, YouTube is where we went when we first started to learn about fish and all this kind of stuff. And that's another thing that keeps me going back to YouTube and wanting to do this, is because, you know, my roots in my hobby are on YouTube. I can remember a bunch of videos that I used to watch, and we used to watch all the dorky stuff and arowana eating a mouse, all those stupid videos that everybody who gets into the hobby first watches and gets excited about. But yeah, I've been in this hobby about 4 years, going strong. As far as if I'm going to do this for life, there is no signs that, you know, from day one to me starting to right now, while we do this, my enthusiasm for this hobby has only gone up and continued to go up, and has not dropped one bit. I'm still more excited to come in my fish room and check out my fish and hang out with my fish than ever. So in terms of this being a lifelong hobby, as long as I have the means and the space for an aquarium and the means to keep fish, I'm going to have fish in my house no matter what. It's something that I enjoy. It's become kind of a part of my family. My son comes in here and, you know, loves playing with my fish, and I'm sure once he gets to a certain age, he's going to be asking for fish tanks and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, as far as a lifetime hobby, absolutely, it's fantastic, and I love it to pieces. That's why I, you know, try and show my enthusiasm as much as I can through the videos, because that's truly how I am. That's truly how I feel about this hobby. That's truly how excited I get in my videos. You know, I'm not putting on a face to get more subscribers and whatnot. That's just me, and that's my real excitement for this hobby and what I really love to do. So, lifelong hobby, yes, absolutely.
Now you have some amazing fish. What is some advice you would give guys who want the same fish that you have?
Thanks. I really do love my fish. I put a lot of work into it. Now, if I were to give somebody advice in terms of somebody who wanted to keep some big Central and South American cichlids, is do your research, do your research, do your research. Don't go out, get a small tank, throw a bunch of fish in there, do your research. Find out what size these fish get, find out how they're compatible. These kind of questions have been asked on the internet thousands of times. Go to one of the YouTubers keeping this stuff and ask them questions, because if this is a fish that you want to get into, it's not a hard fish to keep per se, because they're hardy as heck. They'll survive anything. You can throw them in a puddle in the backyard. As long as it's warm enough, they're going to live for quite a while. But what they are is they're somewhat difficult to keep because they're aggressive, they're large, they produce large amounts of waste, and they're not great always with a whole bunch of fish in a tank. And as a new hobbyist, myself included, the initial setups to fish tanks end up having a whole bunch of fish in them because you see one fish in the tank and it's just boring. So my advice is just do your research, know what fish you're getting, know how big that fish gets, know what kind of accommodations that fish needs. Of course, nitrogen cycle is a huge, massive part of that. Know how filtration works, but do your research. Make sure you know what kind of space the fish needs, know how much to feed it, all that kind of stuff. Just research as much as you can before you get the fish so that you can go in as prepared as possible, so you can have the proper setup, the proper tank with the water change goal, You know how much water you're going to change every week. You know what kind of fish you can put with that fish, because if you guys didn't notice, I don't put very many fish with my fish. Usually it's one or a pair of fish, and that's because Central and South American cichlids are notorious for killing tank mates, beating the heck out of tank mates, and that's the one difficult side, is figuring out what they can go with, and that's why I basically just keep mine alone. So my advice, new hobbyists wanting to get into fish, ask somebody who keeps them. I'm somebody that, if you're new out there and you're watching this, absolutely hit me up with questions, tank size, anything you want, and I'm going to try my best to answer them the best I can. But just do your research as much as you can so that you know what you're getting into and how to approach that. Alright, so that'd be my advice for somebody who wants to get some big old Central and South American cichlids, because they're fun to keep and they're amazing, but there's a little bit of baggage that comes with them.
Now we see your son all the time. Is there any chance of a small sighting of your wife?
Well, any chance of seeing her is probably slim to none. As much as I love doing this and sharing my son with everybody, just not something that she's interested in doing, and I'm not going to subject her to being on the internet if she doesn't want to be. So, I let her do her thing. She honestly thinks this stuff that I do is dorky, and I completely agree with her. Anybody who does videos like this who doesn't think they're a dork, sorry, but we're dorks. So, I don't blame her for not wanting to be on my videos. Hopefully, eventually, because I'd love to, I'm a family guy. I love my family. I love sharing my hobby with my family, and I would love to share my family with my hobby, which is you guys out there in YouTube land. But, eventually I think eventually we'll get some footage, but, for right now, she's not interested, to be on my goofy YouTube channel, because that's what it is. It's a goofy YouTube channel, but I'm going to be showing Hunter all the time like I do. We have an absolute blast in the fish room. He's growing and getting so smart, and, I can tell he's interested in the fish, and he loves coming up to the tanks and, playing with the fish that come up to the glass, and, I just love being able to share my hobby with my son, and it's awesome. But her, on the other hand, she likes my fish, she enjoys coming in here, but in terms of being on my videos, she's not interested. Which sucks, but hopefully we can get that to change one of these days. But yeah, it's kind of where we're at with that one. But honestly, that is where he gets his good looks from. To be honest with that, he doesn't get those from me, so you're right with that one.
Now, what is something you want your subscribers to understand or get from your channel?
What I would love my subscribers to understand or get from my channel is to just enjoy what you do. Love the hobby, love what you do, love the fish that you keep, because, that's what it is. It's a hobby, and with hobbies, it's not supposed to be considered work. There's not supposed to have negative connotations to a hobby. You're supposed to just enjoy it. So, what I want my subscribers to understand, and hopefully what I portray in my videos, is the fact that I really do love what I do in terms of keeping my fish, and I love what I do in terms of YouTube. That's two different hobbies. YouTube is a different hobby than keeping fish. So absolutely just enjoy what you're doing with your fish. It's an absolutely incredible hobby. This YouTube community is absolutely incredible. It's vast. There's a vast amount of knowledge between YouTube, the internet, forums, everything. Just love what you do, and enjoy the everlasting growth for more knowledge. If I could give anybody out there advice, again, I'm giving more advice, is just to keep trying to learn as you go. And the more you learn, the more you enjoy it, because the more you understand what's going on. So, and that'll eventually, it all snowballs into one. But just, if I want my subscribers to understand, one thing from my channel is that I know that I love what I'm doing, and I try and portray that as best as I can. And I want them out there to, have that same enjoyment for what is a absolutely fantastic and amazing hobby. It's awesome. So love what you do what you love to do. If fish keeping is not what you love to do, find something else that you're going to love to do, because there is a hobby out there for everybody, or multiple hobbies out there for everybody, and if you don't love what you're doing, it can be a little confusing sometimes.
Being a fish keeper isn't easy. We make it look easy, but it really isn't. What are some mistakes that you have done in the past that you would like to share with us? Mistakes
that I've done, when I first started out in this hobby, the one thing that I did not understand was water changes and the nitrogen cycle. That is something that anybody out there who's going to get into a fish tank needs to learn. Learn that first. I know I gave my advice and said do research. That's right there, bottled up there in there with doing research. Know how filtration works. Know that water changes are necessary. Because I know when I first started, I didn't think you needed to change your water. You put water in there once and the water should be good, right? That's not the case. I didn't understand, that you had to cycle a tank and the biological media had to develop bacteria on it which would eat, this and that and take care of this. And you don't have to understand the nitrogen cycle down to the smallest degree of molecules eating other molecules. No. It's basically a simple thing. Water gets filtered builds up bacteria, the bacteria eats the bad stuff, you change the water, it gets out rid of the excess bad stuff. Simple and easy as that, but that's something that when I first started out, had no clue what was going on, and I didn't know it. And I got, I went to Petco or something and got an aquarium book and it talked about that, and that's where I learned it. So, early mistakes, I made some serious, early mistakes. I'm not going to go through all of them, That goes back to my, before doing research. Do research, know what fish you're getting. I know when I first started out in a 55-gallon, and I probably had, I don't know, 10 to 15 fish in there that get pretty decent size, big Central Americans, because me in the hobby, this is all that I've ever kept, is Central and South American big, nasty, mean fish. It's something that I fell in love with when I first started, and it's something that I still love now. But in the middle, in the beginning, when I first started out, when I loved those fish, you get this thing, it's kind of like your eyes are bigger than your stomach type of deal, where you feel like you can put more fish in the tank than you should, and that's definitely something that I did. Again, that goes back to when I answered about the other thing. Do your research, know what fish you're getting, know how the water gets filtered, know that you need to do water changes, know what kind of accommodations that fish needs, know what kind of fish can be put with that fish within the accommodation that fish needs, and if you need to up that, subtract that, whatever. But, not knowing the nitrogen cycle and the whole water change thing, which water changes to me are right there at the top, boom, at the top of, my list of important things within this hobby. But, yeah, learning that stuff was a big mistake on my part. But luckily I learned it quick and, started to pick up on things quick, and, I did have, and still do, a strive to learn as much as I possibly could, especially back then because I was so interested in things. But, yeah, not knowing the nitrogen cycle and setting up an aquarium like that with fish in it was just a bad idea.
We all need goals. So my question to you is, where do you see your channel going in the next few years?
Goals are a huge part. I'm not going to hide the fact that subscribers and views are absolute goals of mine. I said in a video on New Year's, I have a goal, honestly, to be the most subscribed fish keeping YouTuber. And I know that's a reach, and I know that's, a far way away, but, why not reach for the stars, and maybe eventually I could get them, because I feel like I have a good thing going with my subscribers. In a few years, I'd love to see my channel just continue to grow, my subscribers continue to grow, but I don't want myself to lose grasp of the fact that I love what I do. If I look forward in future right now, in a few years from my videos, and I don't see that excitement, that love for the hobby, then I'm just going to quit, because it's not, that's what's most important for me, is just me being myself and loving what I do. So if it gets to the point where, this is, not a hobby and enjoying what I do and producing videos and all that kind of stuff, then that's not something I want to see. I want to see in a couple years myself doing this, having that same enjoyment and excitement that I feel right now as I do this video. But of course, having more subscribers, views and all that kind of stuff is a huge thing. And like I said, eventually I would love to be the most subscribed YouTube fish keeper out there. And, that's a lofty goal for myself, but, what's life without goals if you're not going to try and reach them? So, for me, that's what I'm going to try to do, try and produce the best possible content that I can, while still, portraying that I love the hobby and love what I do. Hopefully this guy will still be here in a few years, hanging out on camera for everybody. But yeah, in a few years, if I can just keep this continual growth going, who knows where I'll be in a few years. And the not knowing is what's really awesome about it.
You're unpredictable and a funny guy. Is that why you think your channel has become so popular?
Honestly, I can't tell you why my channel has gotten to where it's at. I don't know why people click that subscribe button, because my videos are dorky, they're goofy. I don't pack a whole lot of information in there, which a lot of people do. But my videos are me being me, And if that's what's gotten my channel so popular, me being goofy and, you know, whatever I do in the fish room, and if that's what's gotten me where I am right now, that's awesome, because that's all I can do and that's all I know is, you know, me doing the videos that come natural to myself. And while I'm doing those videos, to just be myself in those videos. And if that's what continues to keep subscribers coming to my channel and you know, enjoying and watching my videos, then that's what's awesome about YouTube, is the fact that I can be in here with the camera, just being myself and talking to a camera about stuff that I'd like to talk about. And the fact that people will take time out of their day and sit down and watch it and, you know, enjoy what I do and, you know, comment and say awesome job and all these kind of things and positive things and like the videos. So yeah, if me being that goofy guy, you know, being myself, is what keeps people coming back to my channel, keeps people coming into my channel, and, you know, keeps getting my channel to grow, then that's all I can do and that's all I know, because, you know, that's just me being me. So if that's what keeps people coming in, you know, to all of my subscribers out there, I say thank you, because that's just me being me. And I know some people don't think that. I've actually been asked a few times if I'm putting on an act, or if I've been asked a few times, honestly, Rick, if I'm on drugs while I do my videos. And I'll say this right now, is I've never done drugs in my life. Clean as a whistle. That stuff's none of my problems. I got this guy. I don't have time to be doing drugs. Keep burping in my mouth. Just had some iced coffee. But, you know, just me being me, and, you know, if that's what keeps people coming back, then that's what's amazing about YouTube, is that I can just be myself and people will watch my videos. Eat that.
Alright guys, big shout out to CICHLIDMAN09 once again for taking part in this video.
Thanks, Rick. Awesome to be here. I appreciate it. Very much an honor to be even considered for something like this. Keep doing what you do. Your channel is one of the best out there. And, you know, thanks for having me. Hunter, say thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Alright guys, that's been another episode on One-on-One with the Rick. If you guys have a suggestion for another one-on-one, leave it in the comments below. And as always guys, thanks for watching.